Good evening and a warm welcome to News Hour. I am Mbalo Bangura. Coming up on this edition, President Nkrumah meets with eminent women of Sierra Leone 2018 Situation Room. Former Councillor and Member of Parliament with candidates of NGC, ADP, CDP, C4C and PMDC Input Local District declare for the APC. Inspector General of Police Dr. Richard Moegbe engaged the Market Women Association in Sierra Leone and the Women's Situation Room. And Secretary General of the All People's Congress National Youth League, Ali Conte, calls on youths to be peaceful but very vigilant on polling day. All these stories and more lined up in this edition of News Hour. Stay with us. The Inspector General of Police, Dr. Richard Moegbe, has held talks with the Market Women Association in Sierra Leone and the Women's Situation Room. Princess Gibson was there and now reports.
The first round of election has seen the emergence of hate speech and tribal sentiment resulting to violent attacks, destruction of market tables and wares in different parts of the country. This has resulted to concerns by various groups led by the Market Women's Association Sierra Leone directed to the Sierra Leone Police.
IG sir, we the women of Sierra Leone are deeply concerned about the use of tribalism during campaign, which is fueling hate speech, regionalism, arson attack, robbery, burning of vehicles, destruction of market stalls and wares across our country. Papa, the reason why we put here, now we woman them, now we they feel the pain. And this belly, have been done ask for one.
The Inspector General of Police maintained that the Sierra Leone Police exists for the peace of Sierra Leone.
Make her assure that the Sierra Leone Police, we know we exist for let Sierra Leone be peaceful. That now we call mandate in addition to whatever we do for protect life and property, for make sure this country is peaceful. And for the election, we know say the political party them Boku, 17 of them, 16 don't feel presidential candidates and running mate. And they all together would now depend on the Sierra Leone Police for providing security. That we are committed to, but with a caveat, as I always they tell me officer them across the country, across the force, that everybody they look up to the people of Sierra Leone, the international community, and all the 17 political parties. We serve everybody, every political party, fairly, impartially, professionally, will not take partisan positions at all.
He said they have increased police profile due to the present concerns around hate speech and tribal sentiment. The Inspector General of Police noted that he cannot compromise the security of the state for few people.
Because I get a duty for protecting them. I cannot compromise the security of this nation, 7.something million, for just a handful of personal interest. I will not do it.
Thank you.
I will not do it. Now I tell me officers, this election, everybody remain a policeman. Leave the politics to the politicians.
Women call for a halt in tribal sentiment and hate speeches. Princess Gibson, SLBC News.
The Institute for Governance Reform has called on President Nkrumah to address the surge in levels of violence surrounding the electioneering process. This, according to the Executive Director, Institute for Governance Reform, and Ulavali, is one of the recommendations after an assessment on the lessons learned and implications for the runoff and democracy building. Daphne Kima-Macaulay filed on this report.
Assessment on the presidential election results, the Institute for Governance Reform, a civil society organization, has issued a report on the lessons learned and implications and democracy building. The report, according to the executive director of the Institute for Governance Reform, Andrew Lavali, is to foster a peaceful and democratic runoff and also looks at the results and what it means for democracy. In the report, there are 5 lessons learned. Among them, in the 2018 general elections, are that the country is embracing issues-based voting, politicization of ethnicity is counterproductive, and the National Electoral Commission and institutional integrity. The report also states that the outgoing president was quiet over the recent violence that has targeted some political party supporters and candidates, especially in the ruling party.
We're here today to share with you some lessons, some key lessons, 5 lessons which the media should take on board about the 2018 elections and what those 5 lessons meant. Lesson number 1. The first lesson we see is that the country is embracing issue-based voting. Yes, there is some consideration for ethnic-based voting, but there is heavy consideration for issue-based voting. We do not intend to define policy like in the Western sense, people voting for healthcare, people voting for education policy of a particular candidate. But we look at how Sierra Leoneans are gravitating towards issues in making electoral decisions, electoral choices. And 2 big issues that occupy minds of voters, which we sense, are issues around human security and livelihoods. Human security and livelihoods. And we can go into that in a minute. The SLPP that came out strong in the first round, with a slight lead in the first round, there are some commentators that are saying that the success of the SLPP in the first round was a surprise because they were not really an effective opposition, we all know. So from our point of view, it's actually the APC that lost votes and not the SLPP that actually won. And so part of the analysis we're doing is, why did the APC lose? So we go community by community to illustrate how people voted on the basis of issue. We are saying this because we don't want people to say, no, Kono voted on the basis of tribalism. The people in the South and East voted on the basis of tribalism. The people in Gambia voted on the basis of tribalism. We want you to help us to challenge that characterization about Sierra Leone, that people just vote in Sierra Leone on the basis of tribalism.
On the security situation during the electioneering process, the Executive Director, Center for Accountability and the Rule of Law, Ibrahim Tomi, said the National Electoral Commission should liaise with the Sierra Leone Police to provide security.
Also bear in mind that NEC has a job to do, and you do not take actions that directly or indirectly even create a sense of insecurity, fear and panic among NEC staff. Which is why I urge the leadership of the Sierra Leone Police to make sure that if this is a deliberate or even inadvertent effort at intimidating NEC staff, it must stop.
He urged the Sierra Leone Police to do its job within the law. For SLBC News, Daphne Kima-Macaulay reporting.
Some eminent women of Women's Situation Room, as part of their campaign to prevent election-related conflicts, have condemned the present spate of violence in the country ahead of the March 27 presidential runoff. The women called on political parties to put an end to violence by admonishing their supporters to stay away from violence and hate speech. Our reporter Aminash Nyade-Brima went and sought the opinions of Women's Situation Room.
Mina Nimata Majosoka, the founder and first president of the 50-50 group of Sierra Leone. Salone a land that we all love. Do you we all live in peace with each other? Election go down. They are the way win. Sometimes some no go look we say. What would they go kill we say for them for? What would they fight for them for? We get for support who they want support. All man get for support who they want support. Nobody know for stopping company for support who they want support. Do you we live side by side in peace? That is wonderful country. We can't find past all sides of the world. So do you we be at a big old man? Do you we live in peace? Do you we try? We picking them not suffer. We the woman there. We always the worry because when peace not there. Now we touch the Lord. Now we get the wahala. If anything be to the soldier man nemo, anything be to the picking nemo, now we get for truth the Lord. So do you wanna beg me? They beg all man of this country. Let we try for living peace.
Now we get to Kamara. We now lead convener for peace and security in the women institutions under the Mano River Women's Peace Network, MAWOPNET. Okay, so far, as peace convener and for the welfare of we all in Sierra Leone, and the big with brother and my sister there, anytime we go, then we preach peace. Even to the two parties, the two flag bearers, APC and SLPP, and Dr. Samura Kamara and retired Brigadier Mada Bio. Do ya? We have been on sign peace club. We have been on committing ourselves to peace. The youth then and the gang leaders, they will not carry the peace baton. They not commit themselves to peace. Anytime we go, we make that day rain. Let peace reign. We will not get peace, and we want sustainer now. Do ya? Let the place be peaceful. If we not get peace, we don't get no side possible. Anyone can win safe, no get side possible because the country not peaceful.
Mina Mrs. Aissata Bondu Manye. Mina the national president of the Young Women Christian Association. Me Bondu Manye. I dey talk say, not out of tribal sentiment. Mina Bonu, Kono, but I get Aissata name. When I know the background, now from me Timini, me stepmama. So what do I want for do? When I want bring tribal, I get Timini sister, I get Mende sisters. So what do I want for draw line between me and them? We not go able that one. Now that make today in particular. I come as a Kono Pikin, na Salone. I get right to me vote. Everybody when they read this message, get right to a vote. But 2 years, I the beg una, and they talk to a bread for una, for let God touch each and every one of we hearts, so that we will see reason for let we get peace that we had and give out peace. Peace then that we had.
Mina Hasha Maria Mafofana, past president of the 50-50 group, and Mina one of the eminent women within the women's institution. And if one life lost, any life we lost as a result of that person day, that sin day, we will therefore answer to God Almighty. They will all say, we all accountable to God Almighty. We are babies, so they will work for the peace of the country. The Bible says, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Islam says, if you are responsible for the death of one individual, then you don't kill as if the sin where you get, it is as if you don't kill all of humanity. So we are not big sin that one day. So we are Christians say, we are Muslims say. Then we will be God in law. Let us try for preserve life, order, here and there. And that's an work to now. Peace be to all of us.
President Nkrumah has received Eminent Women of Sierra Leone 2018 Situation Room and other groups at State House. The president told the group that the country is making progress with its electioneering process, despite challenges.
President Nkrumah thanked the eminent women and market women for calling on him to urge the government and all Sierra Leoneans to continue to pay attention on the deteriorating situation of peace in the country.
The president described it as uncalled for, which he said he believes the people of Sierra Leone do not deserve. The president recalled that the country has been conducting elections after the war, which were relatively peaceful, even though they were more difficult before the war was declared over in 1996, and this election is the fourth after the war. He said the country has enjoyed peace for a very long time, which every Sierra Leonean has worked very hard for its achievement, and the government also has worked very hard to sustain it. President Nkrumah therefore said that it is the responsibility of all in authority, leaders, security agencies, the political leadership, including leadership of the Women's Situation Room Sierra Leone, to provide peace for the country. He said that he believes that the recently held elections on March 7 are the most peaceful ones, as people turned out to cast their votes despite earlier fears, but that the process was relatively peaceful all over the country. He pointed out that after the elections, challenges emerged, with concerns raised to the extent that he had to invite the National Electoral Commission, the Political Parties Registration Commission, and all other stakeholders for them to address those concerns raised. President Nkrumah informed the Eminent Women Group of assurance given by the National Electoral Commission that they will address the said concerns. He said this will enable every Sierra Leonean to go into the runoff with an open mind, knowing that the process is transparent, free and fair for the acceptance of the outcome of the election.
This is what happened is unacceptable. We all condemn them, and whether it is APC or SLPP or anybody, the people of this country don't deserve that. And we also know that beyond here, now they remind yourself about the special court. What happened about the international court? You sit down in your little corner, you write something where they incite people. Once they establish it, you don't incite people. You take responsibility for it. You make an audio where they will identify you tomorrow, saying that you send that audio day. You will take responsibility for it. You make, say, the clever politician where they hide behind a figure, where they in a room, he send people, let me say, when I go. We go out, you go condemn. But then I instigate. Because it is happening. You know? One hand, people and they condemn. The other hand, and they instigate. Because where are all of these people coming from? Suddenly, we don't do the campaign, we don't do everything. Now they say run off. So I want to assure Una that as president, we will continue to make sure say peace and quiet there in the country. As president, I will want to hand over a country where we will be peaceful, where we will be united. And I urge all the politicians, may they not go in for cheap votes. Go out there and earn your votes. Now the violence and the threat, and now this violence you want to bring back, they made them afraid. Make some people say, I know they go vote again. Because when you say, I know they go vote, then they don't deprive you of your civic rights. They don't deny you that. And we know for do that, for encourage every Sierra Leonean for vote. Everybody for vote. Make it vote in peace. At the end of the day, whether the people they want, I think will be the president. Whether the people they want, in another 2 weeks from now, I'm sure in this room he will take the oath of office.
Earlier, the international consultant, Women's Situation Room, Madam Barbara Sangari, said the Eminent Women of Sierra Leone is a group of women preaching peace during elections all over the world, especially where they believe there is violence. She informed the president that as a group, they have started working since December, meeting with the police and all political parties to ensure the elections before, during and after are peaceful. A member, Madam Davis, pointed out that the country has gone through the elections and is now going to a runoff. But there is a grave concern to the women of Sierra Leone. They are not happy about which tribalism ticket political parties are using to campaign has caused a lot of violence in the country. Madam Davis added that the market women have approached them and explained the problems they encounter when there is political chaos, including the loss of their businesses. She pointed the recent incident in Bo, where the women said their souls were broken and were treated badly, which is a great loss to the women and the country as a whole. The National Coordinator Women's Situation Room Sierra Leone, Madam Awassa Mai, noted with dismay that the women of Sierra Leone are deeply concerned about the use of tribalism during campaigns, which is fueling hate speech, regionalism, arson, attacks, robbery, burning of vehicles, destruction of market stalls and wares across the country. She added that as mothers of Sierra Leone, they are calling on the President, custodian of peace and national cohesion, to ensure that peace and the well-being of Sierra Leoneans prevail. Madam Awassa Mai intimated to the President that the women of Sierra Leone depend on him for peace and security of the country. They urged the President to speak up and condemn all acts of violence and to use all possible means to put a stop to all the unnecessary incidences highlighted above. Indicator of Women's Situation Group Liberia, Councillor Yvette Chesson, said she is in Sierra Leone representing the women of Africa to ensure that Sierra Leone has peace before, during and after the elections. She told the President that they are in Sierra Leone as an organization to protect the women of Sierra Leone and Africa as a whole.
In another development, the newly elected ECOWAS President, Mr. Jean-Claude Brun, has paid a courtesy call on President Ernest Bai Koroma at State House in Freetown. As the country approaches the presidential runoff, the Secretary General of the All People's Congress Youth League, Ali Conte, who also doubles as a presidential youth aide, has called on young people to refrain from all forms of violence but remain vigilant on polling day. Mr. Conte called on Sierra Leoneans to vote for Dr. Samura Kamara, as he is the fittest man to lead the country after President Koroma. Mr. Conte, who was speaking to SLBC, said the country needs free, fair, and credible elections. We bring you excerpts from the statement by the National Secretary General of the APC National Youth League, Ali Conte.
General elections, wherein their conduct was very, very much appreciable to the general public. And towards the runoff elections, I'm also calling on the young people for them to go out there in their numbers so that they can have a say in the decision making of this country.
Now, what do you have to say generally to voters? Yes, I know your constituency is the young, but what do you have to say to voters generally as the country goes into presidential runoff?
Yeah, generally to the voters is that the race has now been limited to two personalities, Dr. Samura Kamara and retired Brigadier Julius Maada Bio. We are calling on the general public to see how best they can look at the character, the profile, and the experience of these individuals. But to be specific, I'm the Secretary General of the APC National Youth League. I'm calling on the young people of the APC party and the National Youth League to see how best we can go out there. Let us reach out to those of our membership for them to go out and cast their ballot for Dr. Samura Kamara. And I also want to appeal to those people that took all the strength to register to participate in the elections in the provinces, for them to see what they can do so that they can get back to those places where they registered before the election so that they can go and cast their ballot for Dr. Samura Kamara. Yeah, my message to the young people of this country is for us to continue to maintain the peace, keep the peace, whatever dissatisfaction that we may have, let us go and demonstrate them in the ballot box. But furthermore, let me call on those that are charged with the responsibility to carry out the elections. Please, we are all Sierra Leoneans. It is enshrined in the Constitution that we should have the right to participate, to associate, and to belong. But if you are given the responsibility to oversee an election that has to decide the next leadership of this country, the interest of your country should be put above political interest. If you think you are a politician, you want to seek the interest of your party, you have nothing working as a NEC official. Please go out there, because the opportunity have been given. If you are a politician, go and serve as a party agent or a party authority for your party, but you could not be as a NEC official while you're working on the interest of your political party. These are some of the things that have been rearing their ugly heads in the past few days prior to the presidential honor. So we are calling on those officials that please, this time around, we as young people in the APC, we are determined, we are poised, we are vigilant, and will ensure that the will of the people prevail.
He is Ali Conte, the National Secretary General of the APC Youth League. The Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Mines and Mineral Resources, Fadwata Mustafa, has said that improved governance and management of the mineral sector is what the ministry is working towards. She made the statement during the launching of the Sierra Leone Mineral Sector Benchmarking Assessment Report. The benchmarking assessment, according to her, was a collaborative effort between the government, private sector, and the civil society across the country. Hamosiri has more.
I'm honored to launch the Sierra Leone Mineral Sector Benchmarking Report. This is it. Thank you for your attention.
The launching of the Sierra Leone Mineral Sector Benchmarking Assessment Report is to make sure that citizens benefit from their own natural resources, as the survey was done with support from the private sector, international donors, and the civil society respectively across the country. The report, according to the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Mines and Mineral Resources, Fatmata Mustafa, is the output of months of research, validation, and review work done by a team of dedicated professionals, both in the public and private sectors. The Permanent Secretary, Fatmata Mustafa, commended the researchers who led the research process and the mineral sector experts panel under the leadership provided by the Deputy Minister of Mines and Mineral Resources.
It is our objective to create the conditions necessary for improved governance and management of the mineral sector, and more especially to get a good deal for country, communities, and companies. These recommendations in this report create the framework within which we can ensure that wealth under the ground is translated into wealth above it. This document has already been useful to us, and I hope it will be useful to you and others, meaning researchers, students, policymakers, and private sector actors.
The Mineral Policy Advisor of the Ministry of Mines and Mineral Resources, Daniel Gbundo, giving a brief background to the assessment, noted that they went to various communities through town hall meetings to get first-hand information from people, as they should be part of the process. He stated that his ministry will make sure that the rollout of the report go through community programs across the country.
The Sierra Leone Mineral Sector Benchmarking Report is about ensuring that as a ministry we understand in many ways the challenges that are inherent in minerals exploitation, and also to look at the policy recommendations that we can put in place to improve the manner in which we are managing our mineral resources, in which we can optimize the benefits that we can get from the minerals sector. We want to ensure that our people get the benefit from the resources that we have. Against the backdrop that these resources are non-renewable. A bucket of iron ore out of the ground means we are a bucket of iron ore poorer. So the government has the obligation to ensure that we make the best use of what we have.
Other civil society representatives who attended the luncheon ceremony also made meaningful contributions. SABC TV News are in Freetown. Hawa Mosiwe reporting.
Sierra Leoneans continue to call for peace ahead of the presidential runoff. Let's join Joseph Chore for more.
This is Michael Pratt from Modern Kids Model School. Well, I want to make people know see the one game Sierra Leone we get. And we want to make people know see the one game Sierra Leone we get. Vote the person we know see. We want to make people want to vote there. May this not be in confusion. Vote the person we know see how want to vote. May this not be in confusion. People in the fight against themselves. See how they fight against brother sister they fight. You know people in the fight against election. Brother they fight against brother sister they fight. You know we will fit. And after election, this don't they affect. It don't affect the school. Will be we. And even now so pay the fees for this don't they affect. It don't affect the school. And if it's still pay the fees for saying something bad will happen because we don't want that. Please make we always say now one get say something bad will happen. SLP we don't want that. Please make we always say now one get say make we show love. Whether it is SLP we dey APC for win the election, that God appoints for win the election. Please make we accept that. Other get for win the election, that God appoints.
Alpha Mohamed Kamara, sir. St. Elios Senior Secondary School, SS2 Science. Well, the message from me girls for me, brother and sister there for me, mama and well, the message from me girls for me, brother and sister there for me, mama and now first, my first selection, one medicine, now first, my election through, one medicine, no cost, win, election through, the start, win,
Abubakar, what is me this good for? You will this election done which very like the commission for this campaign out here. As a children run for we work no day. For me election can work no day. How they come and show the good now so no day. So the person got no election done which very like would have win all access to the results. So the person got this application only event weeks. People are for preacher. The person got this application lay on the because today go back that would like Rwanda. I will not know what the idea is. The person got the election commissioner they not for do a credible one. So that's how I message. So you get P. Why made this don't go for Sokoto?
Well, the message we ask God Almighty that will this one. No problem. Get for the now they get. This na me man, this na me boy. So no problem. How they get with the would God bless. Let them care. With the peace. Don't want the peace. We sit on our house, we list the order from our vote, you can't sit on. We still are not saving, we are not saving.
We try to say, we don't know what we don't happen to at this country. We don't want, we don't suffer, people they may not die. So we do the try, one thing they try for tell the people in this country. We all for come as one, to do the election peacefully, the runoff flow make I come peacefully. Then the way we have for conduct the election, they try to make everything clear for me. At least no then shaking back for repeat. But in all that day, country no go before. You don't see. Solo we all get peace. We then call results. Who that not get, who that get, he work with the country fine. Make with the people them glad.
As the country braces itself for next week's runoff, former councillor and members of parliament candidates of the NGC, ADP, CDP, C4C and PMDC in Potloko have declared for the APC. The APC has been canvassing support from the other parties that took part in the elections of March 7. Asmi Uba now reports.
Flag bearer Dr. Kande Yumkela broke his silence, but what was surprising to some people was that Mr. Yumkela did not throw his support to either party, but gave his supporters the free hand to choose who they want to vote for during the runoff. The NGC and ADP were able to make impact in the northern region, which is one of the strongholds of the All People's Congress. Had they won the election, these former councillor and member of parliamentary candidates, plus mayoral candidates also, would have represented the SLPP, NGC, C4C, CDP, and PMDC in Potloko District Council and the Parliament in Freetown. Though they did not get it, they have now thrown their weight behind the All People's Congress. Some of these NGC, ADP, and C4C members, among others, have just come home again, as APC was their former party. Hundreds of former supporters came from the nook and cranny of Potloko to pledge their support to the party. The deputy chairman of the APC Potloko, Ali Suma, has been working behind the scene to bring to their fold these supporters of other political parties. Mr. Suma welcomed the returnees and assured them that if the APC wins the election, they will not be forgotten. Ali Suma said the APC is a family and appealed to them to forget about what has happened in the past and work for the party's victory.
The second round can win the third runoff. And it don't left between Dr. Samura Kamara and Julius Manabiu. We believe in dialogue. We believe in for talk to people. There are see reasons why Samura Kamara, that the person when we will take this country forward. We thought of it instead of faith, violence, we forgot our brothers and sisters them. All we feel aggrieved. Go to NGC, SLPP, and other parties them. Now that it already the stage for put Mama Salon first, then we call her.
He said they are part of the APC family and appealed to them to work for the APC. Honorable Kombo Kamara praised Ali Suma for working hard to get back those who had left, saying the APC is a grassroots party where everyone matters.
Some of them feel neglected. They say today, love family, some of them say, let us make results today and get an answer for March 27 and win this election.
Honorable Kamara called on the supporters to work for the party's victory on Tuesday. Former flag bearer aspirant of APC Mahmoud Tarawali said the election of Ali Suma as deputy chairman of APC Potloko district has borne fruits for the party. Mahmoud Tarawali said those who have joined them will surely help the APC to achieve victory. Mr. Tarawali said during the second round, the party has corrected its mistakes and is ready to win the election.
And at this moment, we the APC say no violence. No violence because we believe say we get the numbers for win the elections. The APC get the numbers for win the elections. Especially so where we brothers and the other parties don't can join we. I want to know how SFP go win. I want to know how they go win. The assurance for Gilna and send a strong message all over is that this election, the one they will attempts for thief, they're not going to thief again. No more. These are the elections where people that go vote go respect the votes of the people. Votes will be counted, and the one who get the highest votes will win. And obviously, it's going to be Dr. Samura Kamara.
Charles Benson is one of the staunch supporters of NGC in Potloko. Him, together with his councillor and parliamentary aspirants, declared for the APC and assured them of their votes come Tuesday.
I vote on behalf of NGC for the entire Capable of Chiefdom. With the price of constituency 076 and 077. All People's Congress will rest assured. We will get NGC and we will support you to ensure that we will get State House. If we are tired today, we will give you support to APC because as I tell you earlier, say now big brother there. Anyway, when one man me one daddy brother them fight, then call you back. Okay, all the brother are the same party.
This ADP supporter also expressed excitement to support the APC during the runoff. As they join the APC, the party, no doubt, is happy to get back these supporters whom it had lost to other parties, as politics, they say, is a game of number. Potloko is a backyard of the APC, but the party's victory was challenged by the emergence of NGC and ADP. These declarations will give the APC a sigh of relief.
The Gaza Youth Organization is among groups that are calling for a peaceful election. Here are some of their views.
Kelfala, normally they call me PM.
So, I mean, what do you have to tell people about this election?
Well, we just want to pass on this good information, say a peace election one that is country, no one no violence, as we don't start some and no continue. We now also want like a rider that as you can see, one represents one blood. One mama salon.
Now I dey send message from SLBC. When I ABC, but they tell me SLBC. Anybody so far where we let them get. Who don't say una keke rider, una suffer rider, bra. You have bra, we una use there.
Can you settle violence? Peace and peace we need. We get SLBP out, we get una Gaza rider there. Una go. Baby before that and yeah. They want the election. And we get peace and this country.
Kamara, aka Chief Abista, they are the rep Gaza team. You know, say Gaza will preach peace now to the both two parties, APC and SLPP, we all know one. And me like so, me a pauper day. But shout love to me, brother, they're not Tolombo. Don't come to man, don't be low land. Sandu are the big salon people. You are the Timmy, the Kono, the Lima, the Fula. We are all
now. 2018 election, on of you pay Mamu and the PB.
Faminu, we are the second no. Mine me Alai Kamara. Mine it's a phone half mamia hey Robange. Marie SLPP, then APC. Marie says no dimdin. Some compound, Marie, Dr. Samura, the Tansi Bao, Boma Nook Baye, Baola Sansi Canto, Marie, Saskonu Dimdin, Marie, Afamido Bombali, Amakeni people, Marie, Antofuba, Dimdin.
Vanton Sakawa, Udumu, election year, Mabia Mobo Fair, one Tanya, Wakoma Yonda, Moyana Mondiangi, Maya Mondiangi, SAPPO, APCO, PMDCO. The government Anamusu, the government Mona money election, Yabonate,
Ibrahima Sori Bangura.
na Freeton bo election fena ki kwa SLPP APC mubiri mirikede na mura kwa unara ba fena ibori makwa baule siona walube kwa mubiri ngalanko mubiri mulukede mubiri ngakede mubiri mbakede so ni botra ba fena kwa mo bolo kolonga pera fini fekede na kwa parce imenge na ba fena ole ki tina ene moma onna omboro kede di election ngapima ngo omboro ko election ngapima wonketa ko ngo omboro kolonga mubiri na ibori makwa mubiri na ndo.
And now for sports news, over to Esther Marisamuel.
Good evening and welcome to Sports Update on News Hour. I am Esther Marisamuel. The national under-20 male team, known as Shooting Stars, are on intensive training at the Sierra Leone Football Academy in Freetown. The training is in preparation for the first leg of the Under-20 African Youth Championship qualifiers against their Guinea-Bissau counterpart on the 30th March 2018 in Bissau. 47 players were invited for training. Here is the report. Over 4 years, the Elite League, which is the Sierra Leone Premier League, has not been played in the country due to the infighting within the football sector. This has also affected Sierra Leone's participation in all international competition. It is against this background that the head coach of the national under-20 team, Ken Tabi, talks more on the selection of the players and some of the challenges faced by the team.
We are having a lot of challenge because of lack of football, and the way I came about selecting these players is like getting in touch with all our colleague coaches and telling them the challenge in hand. So I requested for their best and they sent me 2 or 3 players. That's why we had these numbers. We scaled it down to 32 this morning. So we're still working and some still have to go out today. That's the challenge I'm having now because I have to start from zero. A lot of them are having match fitness, lack of activity, and some of them are overweight. So what do you have to do? So you have to manage endurance and tactics. And it's difficult because if you overload the players, we have a short time, we have to play on the 1st of April. If they're overloaded, they can't run. So it's a problem for me. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to put on 50-50 and to see what I can get out of them.
Some of the invited players say training has been effective amid challenges.
My name is Theophile Junju Ponte and I come from Gyalma Football Club. Actually, like the training, really difficult because like we don't run on Saturday, then we begin training back on Monday. So like the training hard actually. The coaching and is beaucoup skill because they play counter attack, then we able to chase who lost the ball, then we run after man. And we don't learn a lot of skills because now other skills back to the land. So now for chase and for win the ball.
I'm Samuel Kylie from Bogu Striker. 5 days ago, the training built up here with intensive training, both anaerobic and anaerobic endurances. We don't really use these 5 days. Our training not really bad. And obviously, we match and we well determined and well focused with one mind. I hope say at the end of the day we will get very good results.
My name is Abu Kume. I'm the club where I come on Standard FC. The training so far, like, even though it's not bad, but it's not easy. Because like actually see morning and evening and not get for easy, but anyways the training good. Training nice because like every day we come and we cope up with the training. So far so good, the training not bad for now. We don't learn beaucoup because like now 5 days no more. For these past 5 days, they do extremely good. Like we don't know the position, the tactical, and we try to work on the system. So.
The training continues at the Football Academy in Freetown. Esther Mai Samara, SLBC TV. Sierra Leone National Under-20 team on intensive training at the Football Academy in Freetown. Now for our international news has to do with cricket, as England were bowled out for 58, their 6th lowest total, as New Zealand playing their first test England slipped to 27-9 before being dismissed in 24 overs at Eden Park. England became only the 5th side to be bowled out in the first session of a test. That is the latest update in sports. I am Esther Maisamura. Thanks for watching.
That was Esther Maisamura with her sports news. To end news are the main points again. President Nkrumah has met with eminent women of Sierra Leone 2018 Situation Room. Former councillor and member of parliamentary candidates of NGC, ADP, CDP, C4C and PMDC in Putloko have declared for the APC. Inspector General of Police Dr. Richard Mwebe has engaged the Market Women Association Sierra Leone and the Women's Situation Room, and Secretary General of the All People's Congress, National Youth League, Ali Conte, has called on youth to be peaceful but very vigilant on polling day. That's all on this edition of News Hour. On behalf of my news editor, Asmi Ubar, thanks for your company. I am Mbalu Bangura. For more information about our programs, do send us your comments to SLPC. Thanks for your attention and good night.